Hey, if you're a young person thinking to invest in real estate, one of the easiest ways to do that is to invest in multifamily homes. Now, FHA allows you to purchase up to 4 units as your primary residence, meaning you can buy a building that has up to 4 units, you can live in one and rent out the other 3, which means that you're going to have a reduced housing payment. But imagine if you can do that several times. So you buy it once, you hang out in one of the units for about 2 or 3 years, and then you rinse and repeat. Another 2 or 3 years you stay there, and you rinse and repeat. And when you're finally done with the 3rd rinse and repeat, you decide to buy a single family home, and you buy that as your primary residence. Each time you buy those buildings, and you plan to living them in your primary residence, you get the best rates out there. There's no better rates than primary residence purchases. Investment purchases do not come close. They're always going to be higher interest because there's a higher risk. Now, if you do this and you're young, let's say you start in your late 20s, you do it for 10 years, you're now in your late 30s, and you hold it on for another 30 years, hopefully all 3 of the buildings will be paid for at the end of 30 years. You'll probably be in your 60s, which means it's going to be time for you to retire. And so if you're retiring, hopefully you would have had properties rented the entire time. And hopefully in 30 years, that single family home that you purchased after 10 years of being in the multifamily units will also be paid off. So you can either sell your rentals and use the money and put them in an instrument that pays you a dividend, or you can continue to be a landlord and the units will be paid for in full, and so all the rent money will come to you. And one more thing, while you have renters in your property, especially when you're living in there, you want to function off of 75% of all the gross rents, because you're gonna allocate 25% for vacancies. We all can hope for the best, but plan for the worst. And what that means is that you may not have all of your units rented all at the same time. So if you plan a 25% reduction in that income, and you just set that money aside for whenever a tenant moves out and you've got to turn the property, meaning paint it and replace carpet maybe, or whatever the case may be, you'll have that extra 25% sitting, taking care of that, where you're not dipping into your pockets to do that. I tell you what, if somebody had told me this when I was 20-something years old, I would be retired today fully.